everyone, and welcome to another episode of Schnozzcast. Your host tonight, Bob, Cory, Nick, and Todd. We are live once again. Thank you for joining us. Tonight we're going to do a little gentleman's agreement and Nick's existential question of the week.
Okay, great, thanks.
We just talked about it before.
We did?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did we?
Cory literally said, I go, hey, you got TikToks? He's like, yeah. Or you would do that and I said, well, yeah, during the live episode, we usually do gentleman's agreement and a question.
Uh-huh.
That's the talk.
So you ask him if he has a TikTok, and
we're
then
all
on the show, you tell me that we're okay.
You were here.
We've also done this like the last 5 or 6 times where we've gone live.
Very true.
And I think it was your strong point that was made, saying like, hey, it's built for like that's what we should be doing on the live episode.
We should
is a question. So
yeah, he's got you on this one, buddy. Sorry.
You gonna call me babe?
Almost. It was very close.
Gross. No problem, Schnookums.
You're welcome, sweetie.
All right, if you're new to the podcast, thank you for joining us. You can catch us out here each and every weekend. If you want to catch up old episodes and get caught up, you can stream us out on the YouTube.
YouTube.
When did you turn 70?
God damn it!
You can find us on
you can find us on the YouTubes and all the social medias.
And I think there was no B in there. I think there was a P at the end
YouTube.
of that.
YouTube.
Yeah. You can find us on the YouTube.
It's the YouTube Music versus YouTube Premium that keeps hanging me up.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's music or premium. Just any sort
Just
of YouTube. You can whether you want to watch the video or you want the audio. It's on YouTube. There you go.
That'll probably help to clear things up for me. All right, so you can catch us out on the YouTubes, the Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Stitcher, Spotify, or anywhere else where you can get a podcast. You can also follow us on social media on Instagram, Facebook, and the YouTubes, all at Schnozzcast.
All the social medias.
The YouTube pay.
Or you can email us if you'd like out to schnozzcast@gmail.com, or you can call or text us anytime, day or night, at 618-SHOCKER.
On the Shocker line.
So, do you guys remember once upon a time we were talking about trying to wrangle a deal with our favorite proprietor at the local drinking establishment to do a live show? Mm-hmm. That really went nowhere.
No, it was good. It's probably a good thing it didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, but when we talk about getting us to 1,000 subscribers,
That was a hiccup.
I don't know what you're talking. I literally before the show, I told him, I said, "What is with you adopting more and more bodily noises and functions during the show?"
yeah, that's an old man thing.
He's like, "I don't do
Hiccup's
that."
an old man thing?
He's like, "I don't do that."
The whole package. The hiccups, the stomach gurgles, the farts, the chewing, all of them paint a picture.
In the last 3 months, like it's almost as if he has like Drew and Mike had butt mic, like where he'd record himself farting. Like it's almost like Cory has like some sort of like pad, like you would normally like have an ultrasound or something with, like on his stomach that has a microphone in it, because all of a sudden you hear like, during the show, and I'm like, what the fuck was that? He's like, oh, sorry. I'm like, what the fuck?
You need better probiotics, bro. Get your probiotic on.
Seriously.
Have you ever had probiotics?
Get your gut health in order.
My gut health is fine.
He's been fucking farting before the show, belching right before the show, and now hiccups.
Yeah, he needs a probiotic.
I had beef sticks in White Castle.
There's no way your gut health is fine. There's no way.
Exactly.
Doctor says it is.
That's
an army.
That's a quack doctor.
Exactly.
You're a quack doctor.
I would question
exactly. The one that said,
credentials.
quit chewing, just smoke more.
I did quit chewing, Todd.
Yeah, so the live show out at the local drinking
Yes, yeah, back to that.
Instead of getting, even before we get 1,000 followers, I almost think it would be cool enough for us to get just enough followers to allow us to do a live show somewhere. I think that'd be pretty awesome. But you need to have those. We don't have them yet.
No.
I don't know what the number is. It's not 1,000.
Not yet.
No, even 100. I think 100 would get us there.
We're on the
cusp.
The cusp of 100.
But they'd have to be local to Dearborn Heights.
I mean, I don't know who's from where, but
yeah,
I would assume maybe 75 of them are from around here.
You think?
Yeah.
There you go.
Like 48 are just Danielle and Cory's family.
That's true. Her family wouldn't come to that, would they?
That is not true. I don't think any of them are subscribed.
Why? With all them cousins? You haven't tapped into that resource?
Dude, I've tried. Some people take to it. Some people don't.
So the Finns are not podcasters?
I don't think the Finns have much time for anything else except for family events because that's all we ever have going on. So,
and at those family events, you talk about the podcast constantly.
Yeah. They ask about it.
Yeah, so they know you're doing it. They know how it's going. They're up to speed. I'm sure they ask you.
There's
you don't just go like, "Hey, does anyone want to know how my podcast is doing?" I'm sure they're asking you.
Yeah, trust me. I don't.
He goes
Guys,
up to,
listen. Hey, I just want to let everyone know.
Grandma, calm down. Just hold your comments. Let me talk about my show.
he goes up to strangers and tells them, people at work, strangers, people he meets on vacation, about the podcast. And he's got this untapped resource of a whole mess of cousins that you're not trying to convert.
We have a cousins group chat on Snapchat. I'll send the link out and say that everyone needs to subscribe.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't believe you. I mean, literally
That's at least 65.
Every time you run
there.
into some dude at a bar out at you're tailgating for the Tigers game. You run into some guy who's going to play cornhole with the group.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "Oh, what do you do for a living?" And you're like, "Well, here's what I do, but I also do a podcast." And he's like, "What?" And then we hear about it within an hour. Like, "Hey, we got it. Never going to believe."
Speaking of which, shout out to John if you're listening, buddy.
Yeah.
See?
The IT guy at work.
I can just hear it now, too. Hey, remember how we went tailgating the other day?
Yeah.
I remember I bought that pop-up porta potty? Well, I was using it, and this guy came up to me asking if he could try it out. And so I was telling him about the Schnozzcast, and he's actually listening tonight. Hey, Bill. Like, you tell us stories like that all the time.
It's a great story.
Right. But somehow you just have not figured out how to crack that nut with the Finn family.
Yeah. I don't think he wants them to listen.
I'm wondering if Danielle has already like poisoned their mind
Like,
against the show.
no.
Hey, look, if he asks you to, like, I've listened. I've been on that show. It's not worth your time.
I had to endure this just to marry him. You know how in some cultures you have to like do all these different tribal things and fight, and this is what I had to do to win this prize pony.
Yeah,
That's right.
You are sentenced to 12 months.
Samir, this isn't Pakistan. They're going to cut your hands off.
Now, Todd Dillon,
Yes, sir.
by way of comparison, doesn't necessarily evangelize the podcast as much as he just gets recognized everywhere
Exactly.
for being on this show that he never talks about.
Exactly. It's amazing.
Yeah, I'm struggling to figure out. And by the way, how's that sponsorship deal coming with the Apple of My Thai restaurant? I was deadly serious about that.
We're still in bitter negotiations.
Okay.
Todd, do you get recognized because everyone thinks you're Gary Coleman?
That might be worse than anything you've ever said.
That is.
I know.
It's
I
very
know, that's horrible.
It's very clear that they look very, very different. So that should be very laughable.
And the sad thing is, my first instinct was then to berate Cory.
I don't know
so that I
if
could
Todd. If Todd
Did you say berate Cory?
yeah. If Todd was a little taller, they might not think he was Gary Coleman.
I like that knee-jerk reaction.
Yeah.
God damn it, Cory. You should be talking about height.
Exactly.
I didn't fucking say it.
That was my first instinct.
Fuck you, Todd.
I feel like there was a old school Todd pause, like where Street Todd almost came out for a second. Like it was just, there's a little bit of silence. Like this motherfucker.
Exactly.
This motherfucker.
He was trying to laugh his way through it.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I
What a
really
defense mechanism.
I really would like to do that live episode. I don't know what it would take for us to do it.
We're doing a live episode.
No, in front of like an audience.
We don't have an audience.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I would like to. We need an audience so that we can make my dream come true, make it a reality.
Okay.
We'll start looking into it, Bob.
Okay.
Just for you, buddy.
We're shooting for the stars at 1,000 followers. All I'm
Thanks,
saying
guys.
is,
There we go.
Aim a little bit lower, maybe
Yeah.
300 or 400. We'll get enough local subscribers where we can do a live show.
Gazing up at the heavens, hoping one
I
day.
like it.
One day.
Got to have goals, my friend.
Very true. Very true.
Did I don't think I told you, and Todd doesn't know that Bob and I had a psychic moment last night.
Oh boy.
No, do tell.
Yeah.
Thanks, Todd.
I was trying to think of the name of this song, and I was typing it into Google to try and play it. And I literally typed in, I've got a brand new pair of roller skates. And Bob played it from his phone, and neither one of us were talking about it whatsoever. And I'm like, oh my God. And he's like, what's the problem? I'm like, look at what I was just fucking telling him. I'm not even going to touch my phone. Look what was in my phone right here. He's like, that is so weird.
Todd,
Like,
that was right after Nick got done blowing Bob.
I mean, as a thank you, I'm like, you know what he'd like to hear? Post activity. Brand new key.
Post coitus?
By Melanie Safdie. That's how you know you're spending too much time with your friends.
Indeed.
Yep. So anyhow.
I know we were talking about Cory's bowel movements earlier.
Oh, good.
Have you ever, to Cory, have you ever farted so loud in bed that you woke yourself up?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that a regular occurrence?
No, not a regular occurrence. I will say, have you ever
The subject
farted
matter.
so hard
Yeah,
that you
really.
sneezed, or sneezed so hard that you farted?
The second one.
Yeah.
Not the first one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not
Because
sure. Have you done the first one?
It, so we were laying on the couch.
It feels like we're shedding listeners now.
yeah, it really does. People are unsubscribing left and right.
Or gaining them. I mean, let's be honest.
We're gaining the scat crowd.
I was gonna say there's a group for everyone out there.
That's right.
And I knew I knew I had a sneeze coming, and I'm like, I'm definitely gonna fart as well. And so I had a half a second until I looked at Danielle, I'm like, this is gonna suck, and I just sneezed and farted very, very hard.
I don't think they have, in that direction, I don't think they have anything to do with each other. Obviously, when you
probably not
sneeze
related.
and accidentally fart, like that's like, when you sneeze, your eyes close. I mean, it's a reaction.
I'm just amazed at your superhuman control of your body to actually pause it so you could actually message Danielle before you actually did the deed.
I don't know if there's a message.
I just had to tell
This
her.
is going to suck. You didn't tell her what was coming. You just
No,
said,
I just said it. Yeah.
this is going to suck for me and for you.
Still,
in
it
just a
feels
second.
like a sneeze-born fart would be so instantaneous. The fact that you'd be able to control it, to be able to say this is going to suck, is still superhuman.
Well, thank you.
He does a lot of times. See, there's a big, with Cory sneezes, I don't know about the other end, but with Cory sneezes, there's a big wind up. His face goes into a weird
okay.
stance. He motions everyone else to get out of the way. He's like,
Okay.
oh
He's
shit,
one of those.
oh, this is gonna, like it's this big production when Cory sneezes. Like his eyes get real squinty.
Then
First of all,
never mind.
It's a big production when Nick tells the story.
You do that.
Dude, my sneezes have been 1,000 times better than what I used to be. Because I would
been working
sneeze
on it.
once,
He's working on
and
it.
then another 6 would follow, and I haven't had that issue for quite some time.
Well, I think we all know.
I wasn't aware there was something you had any control over. Like you can
mean, like,
sneeze as many
superhuman.
times you're going to sneeze.
Because he was like the, the girls that sneeze 15 times. Like that's Cory. He was, achoo, achoo, achoo. Yeah. Oh God, here's another one. Achoo. And I'm like, dude, what the fuck? Who does it? He's like, oh, this guy, one more. I can feel it. One more. Achoo, achoo. I'm like, and I don't know why the Cory sneezes are so funny, but obviously my favorite Cory sneeze was after he broke some ribs.
yeah.
Oh, that hurt.
And that's
so bad.
that's the point of how I know that you have a sneezing windup. Because you saw like impending doom when that was going on.
I knew what was
You were
going to
like,
happen.
oh fuck.
But that's the one thing he can't control that he knows is going to hurt. So he's probably on the lookout for a sneeze.
Yeah, but it's usually when people sneeze, it's eyes get a little squinty, chew. That's it. Cory, when he sneezes, it's like someone. Sir, here, read this note real quick, sir. You are about to sneeze in 10. 9. He's like, oh shit. Oh fuck, and he like grabs onto the table and like holds onto things, tells everybody like I don't have that much time when I have to sneeze. But
Exactly.
you do that because he does have a wind up. That's why he knew that one time that it was like a freight train coming towards him that he couldn't avoid because he knew he really injured himself, and he was like, "Oh, this is gonna suck. Oh, fuck. Oh, ow. And then he did it again, which was like God just winking at me. Like, it was the best moment in my life. I was laughing so hard, I don't think even there was a noise. There was not a noise coming out of me. It was like a hissing.
I did that made me cry. that one made me cry.
He was crying too when he was.
Well,
telling
you
the story.
cried a week later when you had to sneeze on the podcast too.
Oh, that's the time I thought you were talking about.
No, you were upstairs. When you initially woke up that first day, you woke up and Danielle said, "What did you do to my husband or fiance or whatever you were at the fucking time?" And you looked at me and you like gazed at like the 2 p.m. sun that was beaming through the shades, and you were like, "Oh shit!" Like, it was just like slow motion. That was the time you did too.
Okay, yeah. No, I was thinking about the podcast on that one.
You were like, "Ow, ow!"
Yeah, that one made me cry. That one made me cry pretty hard.
It's a good thing he went home yesterday because the dust in that bathroom when he was
Cleaning
washing off
the
the
deer head?
Oh, man.
deer head. Man, you'd have cracked another rib.
There's definitely gonna be less sneezing now, though.
Thank God. Todd, just to let you know, Nick felt the need that the deer head in his bathroom needed an impromptu cleaning last night.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Bob,
For no reason.
Bob, and so I was telling them earlier, Lori was doing her staple, which is the Lori Clark Siesta then Fiesta.
Yeah.
Where she has a couple drinks and decides that she needs a nap and sleeps for about 45 minutes and then gets up in party mode.
Yep.
And so she then grabs Bob and decides that, hey, it's time to turn Nick's kitchen into a scene from Dirty Dancing. And so I'm like, oh boy. So I'm like, so I went to take a piss, and that bronze deer head that's in my bathroom, I'm like, man, I have passed you dusty like this for the last time. And so I'm like, right now, here and now is when this is happening.
You and me.
There is no other time that this can be done. So I like dissembled it and was like rinsing it off in the bathroom. And Bob comes walking in and he's like, "Hey, bud, and everything okay?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "It was dusty."
He's clearly washing a deer head in the bathtub.
It was dusty. And he's like, "Oh, okay." I'm like, "Yeah, I'll be right out." Like, as if, like, you've never seen someone wash a deer head in the bathroom? Like, come on. And then I joined them.
So suddenly.
Yeah. I joined them back in the kitchen, and they were still very dancy.
Yeah, who among us has not done that in the middle of the night drinking? Gotten sidetracked on a completely unrelated, not at all important job that had to be done right then.
Yeah, I actually like it because sometimes when you're drinking or like if you're smoking or something, like you're like, wow, I would never have the motivation to do this. And you like end up doing dishes and like cleaning things, and you're like, wow, look what I did last night. This is great.
There you go. He is in the right frame of mind to get something done.
And we've also discovered that Lori is a great drummer.
Yeah, no, she's fantastic.
Speaking of Lori, she says hello.
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 Ears are burning, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
There's someone in the room
Yeah.
that I have no clue. Their username is Abandoned by Night.
Is what?
Abandoned by Night?
Okay. Are they a superhero?
I have no clue who it is.
Okay.
So Abandoned by Night, thank you for joining.
Yes, absolutely. We'll know you by your name next time you show up.
I would say hopefully maybe put in the comments who you are.
or a really cool explanation for how you came up with that.
I feel like it might be John,
John?
the IT guy that I was just telling you guys about.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, John.
Only an IT guy would know how to change his legal name on Facebook to something that is not a name.
Exactly.
I'm just saying, going by the timeline of things, it would make the most sense, but
It would.
Yeah, for sure.
So John, your IT guy, is a superhero.
I mean, in his own right, yes.
Okay.
Or he's the lead singer of an emo band.
Ooh,
Abandoned by Night would be a good
hadn't
emo band
considered
name.
that. Yeah. Yeah, that would be.
Dylan says, guess again.
What a fucking loser.
All right. Excuse me. Let's go into gentleman's agreement.
Gentlemen's agreement. agreement, gentlemen's agreement, gentlemen's agreement, gentlemen's agreement, gentlemen's agreement, gentlemen's agreement, oh, gentlemen's agreement, oh, it's the motherfucking gentlemen's agreement.
Did you forget which direction was down?
No, I want to highlight the. Oh!
It's a
All right.
badass intro.
I'm going to go first this time because I think mine is probably going to be the least interesting of all the reviews for this week based on what we are giving reviews for. So I had to watch The Dark Side of Football. Who gave that to me?
I did.
Okay.
Me.
So we've assigned sports-related stuff to Nick before. Caddyshack comes to mind. And
that worked out well.
it did not work out at all, but the reason for assigning it was that it's not all about sports. It's a character-driven piece, whether you find it funny or not. It's supposed to be about the story. Good characters, good story. There just happens to be sports in it. I literally have at least 2 more sports-type things in my watch list for you. Haven't pulled the trigger yet.
No, that's good because I
Maybe
have
not time.
some murdering things that I want to assign you too. So.
Oh, yeah. I don't think you have anything else to assign me other than murdering things. But this one, I would not assign to Nick because it is specifically a documentary all about sports and specifically football. But I watched the first 4 episodes. It's on Vice, which I found on Hulu. But first one was Ochocinco, and then second one was Belichick, Raiders, and the third one, L.A. Raiders, and then
You had a different order on yours then.
I went by the first 4, unless I didn't default to the first season.
You didn't default to the first season.
Okay. Whatever season that is, then it
I
must
think
be the latest
the
one.
newest season. I think there's 3 seasons.
Yeah, and then the 4th one was about playing through pain, sports medicine, and stuff like that.
Okay. Oh shit! I wish I would have known that.
No, it's okay. I didn't. I just grabbed. I did a search and
Yeah.
I didn't even look what season it was, but I'll go back to it because I thought it was really good. I thought some of the folks that they interviewed for the segments were, the kind of names that I would expect to recognize and speak to, some of Ochocinco's peers from when he used to play.
Yeah, dude. Bill Romanowski.
Yeah, for the Raiders.
Mike
segment.
Ditka.
Yeah, and the fact that they went a little bit deeper on Belichick in his Parcells days when he played for when he was coaching for Cleveland and the Jets.
Yeah.
I thought was pretty cool. So, yeah, I'm sure I've passed it in the guide, but just never watched it. So I appreciate it.
Yeah. No, it's not a mind blowing thing or anything like that.
No.
But I just figured someone who's played football and enjoys the sport.
Yeah.
I mean, I played it, and I mean, I don't really watch football that much now, but I watched it. I thought it was really, really nice. Like, it was very informative, and to get some of the inside stories from guys that were actually, living through it.
Yeah, sometimes you see those documentaries where, like, if it's about Chad Ochocinco and he's not even in the documentary, it's just people talking about him, then you're like, well, this is kind of bullshit.
Right. Yeah, and for like a guy even like Bill Romanowski to go on and be like, oh yeah, I was roided out of my mind.
Yeah.
Like, it was crazy.
Yeah.
Like, to hear that now that those guys can finally go on a documentary and say that without any repercussion, I think is probably good for them.
Right.
After all those years of, oh no, I'm completely natural and everything's fine, to be able to tell your actual story of how dark things got in the NFL, for yourself personally.
Yeah.
It's very interesting to hear, but I would think that, like I said, that's probably takes a lot of weight off their shoulders, to be able to tell their story now.
That enough time has passed.
Yeah.
I feel like they could talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I won't be assigning it to you,
Okay.
but thank you, Cory.
You are welcome, sir.
All right. I'm not even sure which one I'm more excited for here. So who wants to go next?
What are you excited for?
All
Nick?
of them.
Oh, okay.
Shouldn't be excited for mine.
Yeah. I'm figuring. I know what's coming. So why don't you go ahead, Nick?
Yeah, so I had Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you know what? There's I mean, I could appreciate some of the humor, but it just couldn't keep my attention. It was too dated.
I knew it.
Yeah, I couldn't.
Oh, without fail.
Yeah, I couldn't. And the first time I tried watching, I fell asleep.
There you go.
And then
Spicoli didn't even do anything for you?
no.
No.
And yeah, and then
I'm like, there's no sports in it.
But okay.
It's dated, Bob.
It is dated.
But it's weird because there's some 80s stuff that I really like. Mm-hmm. And then like
Then there's stuff like this.
no,
pile of dog shit.
And there's, old ass John Wayne movies that are extremely dated that I can watch. So it is very strange, but like the hokey 80s comedy, like I can't get on board with it.
You're an enigma, Nick Bader.
I know.
Still trying to figure you out.
I would love to have, been, like an adult during that time or a young adult, like where I probably like maybe it would have been really funny at the time, but not now.
All right.
Gina's making noises at you for not liking that movie.
I knew it was going to happen. I knew it.
You did call it.
I knew it.
I took I shot my shot.
Yeah.
It failed, but learned a valuable lesson.
I think and what's funny to me though is and obviously if you don't like it, you don't like it. But
Yeah.
Right.
That's a movie I will watch still to this day after I've seen it 90 times.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, it's still a great movie. I just watched the Breakfast Club the other day.
Yep.
And I'm like, fucking wonderful movie. I know now after that review, Breakfast Club is definitely out of the question.
Now hold on, because I actually have that still.
He
in
is
my
holding
list
out.
for-
He is holding out.
Yeah.
Dude, if he didn't like Fast Times, there's no chance.
But hold on, John Hughes movies are different.
Yeah.
That would be my point. Like I
agree with you. I agree
every
with you.
80s
He's not
comedy,
gonna
like
like it,
all
but
80s
it's
comedies
different.
are out now. I'm not willing to make that blanket statement.
That's up to you then to sign.
Now, if it's another, I know what you're saying. Breakfast Club being an 80s movie set with high school kids.
A sign of
Yeah,
Porky's.
I see your point.
But you know
I see where
what?
you're
But
going.
I eventually ended up liking Cheers, which has
it's not even the same.
no, it has a lot of stupid humor in Cheers. There's a lot of dumb ass fucking humor.
Well, and even
it is-
Cheers
it
in
is
its prime was an acquired taste, to be honest. The first
Okay.
couple seasons were horrible.
I mean, it was just everything is so on the nose, and I just loathed it. I wanted to really like it, and I did not. And I remember my dad watching it all the time, and then I just one night had a couple pops and was like, let me sit down and watch Cheers. And eventually I got, knowing the characters and knowing how they interact with each other, like I could get on board with it. It wasn't like, oh God, let me fucking write 2 countries away and tell them how great this show called Cheers is. But it, maybe it was a different mindset, a different time. Like that kind of shit was really funny to people back then, but it's not now.
Well, I'm glad you gave it a shot.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say I was 100% surprised, but I thought I got a decent chance.
I'm trying to think of like a slapstick kind of cheesy 80s movie that I like.
I got a whole list here of ones that you didn't.
But I'm going to go out on a limb too. I think one of the things too, we clearly Nick and Cory are in a different generation than Bob and I.
Yeah.
And so the one thing that we don't have the same shared experience is how we experience school. So any of these, especially like Fast Times, and you're right, Breakfast Club, high school stuff, we have experienced it in totally different ways that we can't even relate to. I just kind of figured that out this weekend with my niece was here. But I think that's why Nick struggles with them. And it's literally, some of them can thread the needle and they're timeless, but most of them are not. Most of them are pretty.
I liked American Werewolf in London.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I think a lot, probably a lot of it too. I think Cory is like an anomaly, but I think some of it probably has to do with, the nostalgic aspect of it. It reminds you of better days. Like
Yeah, the days that exactly.
when you were younger and things like that. But for someone from the outside looking through the window, it's like, really? Like this reminds you of something great? How like a smell or something like that, it may be offensive or not the greatest smell to other people, but
Right.
like my cabin, for instance. My cabin always smells like a fucking musty cabin with like a hint of skunk. And every time we go up there, but it reminds me of being up north and when I was younger, and so I love the smell when I go up there, so I feel like
Right.
it's something like that,
Yeah.
All right. Todd Dillon, you had to watch.
Yes, sir.
I want to hear you say it because you say it better than I do.
I can love death and robots. Robots.
Robots.
There it is. Yeah. It's the
Love,
robot
death, and robots.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here's the funny thing. I was immediately when I first turned it on and realized and by the way, great animation, amazing. When I first realized it, I was put off immediately because I'm like, this is a video game. And so I was like, well, let me see if I can fast forward a couple of, because I'm like, and then actually my niece's friend said, hey, each episode's different. So I'm like, cool. Because I was going to bonk somebody because I'm like, this is freaking horrible. It's American anime. But I was grabbed again by the creativity, the yogurt one where yogurt took over the world. Mm-hmm. That actually made me chuckle because it was a bit of dumbassery. And so that kind of won me over. I'm going to give it a solid C+. Right. And really dragged out by because I don't typically like cartoony things like that. And the ones that aren't cartoony that are, I don't even know what you call the new animation, like not claymation, but where people look almost real. You can have to pay very close attention to see that it's all computer generated. I think that aspect of it is so amazing. You should look at it just for that.
Okay.
So solid C+.
I'll take my C+ and go home.
Yeah, because my thing is, again, the level of violence. Oh my God.
Yeah. Well, you can do anything when it's animated.
Yeah, and that too, and the nudity. I'm like, this is like X-rated stuff in some of the episodes as well. Again, tastefully done, but
tasteful nudes. Nothing like some tasteful nudity, Todd.
Little side boob.
Todd, what are you watching?
A bush.
It's tasteful.
It's very tasteful.
Very well groomed bush.
Holy moly! Yeah, everything. Like I said, the animation is amazing, and there are some ones that are pretty especially cute. Like I said, I was like mad.
Slip that right in, didn't he?
My lip was curled when the yogurt took over the world one came on. I was like, I'm gonna freaking destroy someone. And then I ended up chuckling at it. So
all right, so you're probably not going to follow up on that anymore, but I'll take my C+. So before we get to Cory, we got a shot sitting here. Todd, I know you're with us in spirit, so
yep,
take a chug of your beer.
I will do that
out there in Radio Land, Podcast
Cheers.
Land.
If you got them, drink them. Cheers.
Salute.
And then there was Cory.
Then there's Maud.
What'd you have to watch?
That's some good stuff.
I had Kunk on Earth from Todd.
Yep.
Fuck.
Yeah, I did not know any bit about this. I had to search it to even see where to watch it.
Yep.
It's available on Netflix.
Yep.
Todd, you brilliant fucking bastard, you. God damn it.
No.
God damn it.
Wow.
Yeah, boy.
What
yeah,
the
that's what I'm
fuck?
talking about.
Todd, I know you can't tell he's not still sitting, but he did stand up.
I'm not going to let you break him down. I'm going to defend him this time.
Todd, holy fuck, man. Watched all 5 episodes.
Totally mind fucked me, man.
Dude. So it's a
Spoiler free.
yeah. It's a documentary. It's a mockumentary, but it's stars Philomena Kunk. She's the I can't even remember what her actual title is in the show, but the entire time she is insanely stoic. She's British, so she's got a very thick accent.
British.
But
Yeah.
everything that she does in these documentaries, she goes and basically looks at benchmark times in history and certain things that have happened. And she interviews professionals in these areas
that aren't clued in.
No, and the fucking one-liners that she has that she just slips in while she's talking are unbelievable.
Hold on. Is she hot?
So I'm pulling up a picture because I'll tell you what, Philomena Kunk can get it.
Exactly.
But, are you going to share?
I'm going to share with you guys.
Okay.
And I know you two. Then I purposely downloaded the picture because I wanted you two to see. and I completely forgot to port it over, but I'll do that while I'm trying to talk.
Okay.
Yeah, dude, she slips in just these absolutely fantastic one-liners. These professionals she talks to, ask them like some of the most ridiculous questions that they're like, are what? Like the one professional she was talking to about the pyramids, and she's like, well, it's basically just bricks and sand that they built. I don't understand why it's so amazing. And she's like, so do you think they built it from the bottom up or from the top down? And the professional's like, well, they wouldn't be able to build it from the top down. She's like, okay. And just like moves on. I'm like, oh my God. And on top of
some British humor is really, really funny. Like the whatchamacallit, what's the show? With the cars.
Show with the cars. The British show?
Yeah.
Oh,
fuck.
Something the tour, isn't it?
The something tour.
Grand Tour?
Yeah. So like that kind of shit is hysterical to me. So
This
I could see where
this is even funnier than that because you've assigned me that.
Yeah.
And dude, like I said,
she gets better. Every episode gets better and better. Like she starts hitting her stride too at like episode 3.
Yeah, Diane Morgan is the actual actress that plays Philomena Kunk.
Okay.
But dude, so Todd, the one that the line that got me that really hooked me on the first episode. She's walking through this old
don't give away the farm
civilization that's all ruins and knocked down. And she just goes, it's hard to believe that I am walking through the first ever city, because I'm not. That's in Iraq, which is miles away, and it's fucking dangerous. What the fuck? I was like, oh my God. I'm like, this is fucking awesome. So there was that, and then there was one where they were talking about the time when the Titanic was around, and she refers to it as the Titan A1C, the world's largest single-use submarine. And again, too, like when she says like she doesn't crack a smile, doesn't laugh.
Is this all new?
To be honest with you, I didn't even pay attention when it came out
in the last year. Yeah,
it's in the last year.
Why should she call him the Titan?
The Titan A1C.
I mean, yeah, I get it,
Titanic.
But isn't it kind of it sounds very familiar to the Titan sub that went down.
But this is before.
That's what I'm saying, though. It's kind of strange that
right.
Oh, spooky, you mean?
Yeah. God, another psychic moment. Look at that. Just
so
all over the place.
Jesus.
So this is Philomena Kunk.
I'm happy you liked it.
Yeah, she's been in other stuff.
Who does that vaguely remind you
Cory?
of? No.
No?
I can't wait to hear Lori's response to that.
So, not in a bad way. There's just someone else that we worked with years ago.
Sue?
No.
What?
Amy Koss.
Oh yeah. The red was throwing me off, but oh my
no,
God.
It's not really red. I mean, in the show, it's more brunette. It's definitely brunette.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, dude, like her when she talks and everything, she reminded me just exactly of Amy.
Even when she talks? Oh, facial expressions?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because Amy's very British and has red hair.
Well,
the facial structure I could totally see if she had darker hair and like a ponytail.
And in the show, it's like you can't tell it's red. It's more brunette in the show.
Okay. Yeah, but, absolutely.
Dude, yeah, it was absolutely phenomenal. One last thing that really cracked me up. She was talking to this professional, and he had a bunch of guns on the table, and they were older, like World War I revolvers. And she's like, "Oh, these are kind of old." She's like, "So would these still kill someone today since they're so old?" He's like, "Well, yeah, they would definitely still kill someone." She's like, "If I looked into it, and I'd be able to see if it was loaded, correct?" He's like, "Well, yeah, you probably shouldn't do that." She's like, "Oh, it's just no." She's like, "Actually, if I was going to get shot, I think the eye would probably be the best spot because your eyes are just basically a bag of water, so it would just pop and swish around, and you'd be fine." And he was like, no, you wouldn't. And like I said, she doesn't skip a beat, just continues on with the interview like she's completely right. Or how she talked about this guy. She was talking about planes and how, she's like, "Well, can you explain to me how planes work without using science?"
Like, without using science?
He's like, "Well," That's kind of difficult, but yeah, she's like, you know how I think planes fly? On belief. They're only up in the air because we believe they are, just like Wi-Fi. It's only there because we believe it's there. And continues on with the interview. So
sounding like more and more that Bob would not appreciate this show.
No.
Oh no, you dude.
Just that it's one of those shows that I would have been just as equally surprised if you had hated it. I feel like it could go one or the other. Either
like I said, when he gave me
it
was a shot. It was a shot for me. That was me going on an edge.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, when he gave me the title, I was like, what the fuck is this? But like I said, the second it started up and that comment about Iraq, I was like, okay, here we go.
All right, let's do new assignments then for next week. I have Todd, Cory has Nick, Todd has Cory, and Nick has me. Is that murder and stuff you're talking about?
All right.
It's just time for you. All right, so
I got one from Nick that I've been hanging on to for quite some time.
Yeah, go ahead.
Nick, you have heat.
Okay.
Ooh. That's an interesting pick.
It's an 80s flick.
It's a rollicking comedy.
It's almost like as if I tell people what I don't like and everyone's like, done. This is what you're getting.
No, I actually have a strong feeling about this one that you're going to enjoy it.
And I know why you do. But every time I've also said, like, this is a movie that I love that so many other people like. I don't know anybody that hates it. Like, I think he's gonna enjoy this one. And he's turned out to completely despise it and give me shit for it for like weeks after that. So this could go either way because it's Nick you're dealing with.
Yeah,
I get it, but I got a pretty good feeling that you'll enjoy this one.
Okay.
All right. Todd Dillon.
Yes, sir.
Have you seen The Bear?
Yes.
Okay. How about Bill Burr live at Red Rocks?
I have not.
That's what you got.
Bob.
Yes, sir.
You have seatbelt psychic.
The fuck is that?
Don't worry about it.
I know it's coming to me at some point, so.
Yeah. Seatbelt psychic. That's great. All right, which leaves us then. Are we done? No.
No, I
got Cory.
To Cory, and I had something in mind. Have you seen The Diplomat?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know, Todd. You're going to be hard pressed for this one, buddy.
I know. But actually, I got some. I don't want to hold this up. I can't think of anything top of mind, Bob. Cory's hard.
Yeah, but what do you got to assign him? That's the question.
I was just thinking about how to work that in, and I was going to.
My microphone was muted, and I couldn't get to it quick enough.
God damn it!
I was gonna be like, man, okay, but let's fucking stick to assignments here, buddy.
All right, you want to just pick it up later, then, Todd?
I'll pick it up later. I'll send it to you in text.
All right, got it. All right, in the time we got left, then let's do Nick's existential question.
Nick's existential question of the week.
All right, so for this installment of Nick's existential question, this week's question is going to be this. If you could leave a time capsule the size of a microwave oven to be found centuries from now with one thing from your childhood inside, what would you place inside of it?
Got it.
That was quick.
Jesus.
Can you repeat the question?
Sure. Never loses its luster. If you could leave a time capsule the size of a microwave oven to be found centuries from now, from with something from your childhood, what would you put inside of it?
Clarifying question.
Mm-hmm.
Is the time capsule the size of the whole microwave, or what I could fit into the microwave?
What the fuck?
Hold on, Todd. Clarifying question. Your clarifying fucking question.
I want to know how much space I got.
What the fuck does that mean?
You know, if you have a microwave oven that's 1.2 cubic feet, you can only get like a small thing in it, right? Is that the size of the time? Is that the size I have to get in the time capsule, or is my time capsule the size of the whole microwave?
I don't understand the question still.
I mean, it's pretty clear that a microwave.
The microwave is bigger than the inside.
That
Corey.
has a door.
Yeah, so you want to gut it out microwave?
Is the space that I get the size that the whole microwave would take up?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
With a door on it, and
so it's bigger. So it's not like a 1.2 foot cubic foot.
Yeah, like some sort of wall.
No,
not like a perfectly fitting square that slides into the microwave. Like,
yeah, that's what I was checking on. That was what clarified the question.
Yeah, that's fine. If the microwave didn't have all of the equipment with the buttons and all that, and it was one big door the size of a microwave, that you can fit like a box.
Got it.
Yeah,
it makes a difference.
All right, Bob.
For mine, it would be super toe.
What?
Super toe. Todd, tell me you had a super toe.
I did not.
I
hated kickers coming out of the womb.
All right, so you never had a super toe. Yeah, it was
I
just
did
a little.
not.
It was just a little kicker guy.
I would not.
It was on a hard plastic base.
Is that the wind up, and then you press the button and it kicks the football or whatever?
No wind up. You had to smack his helmet as hard as you could, and his right leg would then kick whatever the little a couple of
footballs or
little
something?
plastic footballs that it came with, and it would kick it across the room.
That's what you would put in there.
Yeah.
I've known you for how many years now?
More than 4.
Way more than 4.
Yeah.
You have never, ever, ever once mentioned this super toe.
Yeah, I thought it was time to bring it
When?
up.
He's brought it up on the cast before.
No, he has not.
Yes.
If we had our Schnozzcast historian who was still working for us, he could tell you.
Yeah. Budget cuts.
But we don't. Yeah. Yeah, it's the economy. Stupid.
It's tight.
So,
Times are tight. And damn inflation.
times are tight.
Obamacare.
I think I may have, but I can't prove it. But even if I didn't, it seemed like,
super toe.
It's
Okay.
a no-brainer. Super toe.
All right. Can you still buy them?
I don't think so. Who would be interested in playing that?
Clearly you would.
But I'm an old man.
Dude, hang on.
There aren't
Hang on.
any toy-buying kids that are going to be interested in buying a super toe.
If they still sell this, I mean, clearly I know what I'm
I
getting
really
for
hope I'm
Christmas.
not derailing your entire question.
No, you don't have any anymore? You don't have it anymore?
No.
Okay, so mine would be instead of opening, I would have kept them unopened, and I would have put all of my packages of Garbage Pail Kids
Oh, yeah.
because they're worth a lot of money now.
Yeah, but you'd have to go back in time and convince yourself not to open them.
Yeah, I mean, they were just fucking cards. So
Can you repeat the question? I didn't notice the fantasy element.
The time travel element?
yeah,
Nick would go back in time and convince his younger self to never open those Garbage Pail Kids.
Exactly. Don't open them, you dope.
yeah, don't open them.
And also invest in Apple.
Because I took the interpretation, my interpretation of the question was that when you were younger, like you had this time capsule that would be, centuries later could be open.
Right.
Almost like the Nickelodeon time capsule
Yeah.
that they did in the 90s.
But you're like, okay, I would be younger, but I also would be as smart as I am today and know not to open those Garbage Pail Kids.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I go back in time and take my super shrinker down ray gun and shrink down my car and get it in this box?
That's it.
No, that's not something that's real. There's no super shrinker ray gun.
In my
Hold on, but if you
interpretation of
got
the
time
question,
travel, there's no ray gun?
Hold on. In spite of what Rick Moranis might say.
Okay. Yeah, that's it, Cory.
What the fuck is...
Here, I just put it up on the screen.
Yeah.
So yeah, this complete Shapper Super Jock Super Toe football game,
Dumbassery.
1976 edition.
Yep.
$200
Yeah. And it's used. It's not even unopened.
It's like that should be the salary of all kickers.
Back then, kickers were revered like gods.
Oh, is that like a goalpost it comes with?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
that's cool. I'm like,
goalpost to this,
so I didn't get the whole premise. So I'm like, you just shoot it across the room, and then you go pick it up and bring it back. Like I didn't, but okay, there's actually some skill to
You
it.
spin the spinner, and it tells you how far you got to be back from it.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's kind of cool then.
Yep.
No, it's not.
Well, I was going to say, Todd, you, and Nick need to get together on this, but apparently Todd's not going to throw in any money for.
Yeah, please. I appreciate the sentiment, but yeah, especially for that price, like you don't need to pursue. I don't need a super toe, but in my time capsule, I'd have the super toe.
Fair enough.
And I guess with the option, I would time travel back and tell myself, don't unbox that super toe. Deprive yourself of all the joy of playing with it and put it right into the time capsule.
Hold on, smart ass. So you don't currently have one. So how else are you putting it in the time fucking capsule?
But the point was back in the day.
But you don't. Yeah, exactly.
When I had it.
But you're making fun of it.
No.
But you're also taking advantage of it.
Yes, yeah.
Your initial answer
fair.
meant that you had to time travel.
No.
Are you going to buy the $200 one and put it in now?
No, I thought it was young me.
Yeah, exactly.
Being approached with this idea.
Yeah.
I would have put super toe in there.
Yeah.
There's no time travel.
I'd put Garbage Pail Kids in there.
Yeah, so you put your used, dog-eared, opened Garbage Pail Kids in there.
No.
Sweet. No,
I mean, even the
because
used...
otherwise you're using time travel.
Why am I dog-earing them?
Because you opened them. You're trading them. You're reading them.
Listen, we all know I have slight psychic abilities, so obviously at the time I would have known not to open them, and then I would have put them in there.
So your psychic link is between you at this age and you when you're younger over the vast gulf of time?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want my shrink ray gun.
Do you know that there are recordings, there are tapes when me and my cousins used to do radio shows, and we would record them.
No.
And look at us now. Almost 100 viewers.
Was
you
that-
are welcome. You are welcome.
Word.
Was your call-in number also 618 shocker?
No, that would have been inappropriate at the time.
Yeah.
We weren't allowed to use terms like that.
Yep.
All right.
Can
Is
you
it just
repeat
me?
the question? I'm still in DO.
Todd didn't go yet.
Go ahead, Todd.
Well, I asked for a repeat of the question.
Yeah, I've repeated it 3 times.
I think you got it, Todd.
And there was clarifying questions of the repeat. So I think we're
Okay.
all set.
Well, then I definitely got to put in, and I don't need mine to be all boxed up and prissy for resale, although it'd be super valuable.
Thank you.
It'd be my Evil Knievel. The crank where you scratch the fuck out of your knuckles and jump shit. It'd be that and all my Mattel football games.
Wait.
In the box.
Did Evil Knievel have that little like long plastic pull tab with the teeth on either side that you would just pull out and it would, am I thinking about something else?
You're thinking
Evil
something
Knievel
else.
was the
His was the crank. Yeah, you had to crank it, and,
Okay.
and I can't remember how you released it, but that would shoot him down the ramp.
Okay.
And you could take it everywhere. I dumped that thing off stairs, and that I think that's where I still get my need for speed. I just like things that go fast.
It's only
so-
$65.
Really? Mint condition?
Is this it, Todd?
Well,
Yes.
it's
But this is a remake of it. The original would be
it's not the original.
right.
Yeah, they have some on here on eBay for.
Yeah.
Actually, here's an original one for $285.
Wow.
Wow.
Well, maybe I'll get one of those.
I mean, for $64, you might as well. You put a lot of them in the time capsule.
I think
That's
that's a great guess. That's exactly what I would have if I had one of those. I don't think I did.
Loved it. I rode that thing till it broke.
Oh, you probably shouldn't have sat on it. It probably would have lasted a little bit longer.
All right, so Cory, what do you got? What would you do?
You know what? The first thing that popped into mind were the white Nike Sergei Fedorov skates that I had.
These were actual skates that you used.
Yes.
Okay.
My boosh, my grandmother on my mom's side, got them for me for Christmas. I was probably like 14, 15.
Mm-hmm.
And Sergei Fedorov was like the number one player at the time in the entire NHL.
Mm-hmm.
He signed his big contract with Nike.
This wasn't when like the Red Wings took you on the ice or whatever again, is it?
I don't know.
The mayor took you to the Red Wings game or whatever the hell that one story was that we heard that one time. No, okay.
No, he signed a contract with Nike and they made him these skate because back then there was like basically one kind of hockey skate, and it was a black boot with a white plastic blade holder and the blade, and that was really it. That's all you could get. And when Nike started making hockey products, they're like, well, we want to be different than everyone else. They produced an all white boot with a white plastic blade holder and the blade. And so when, I mean, he had them on, like it stuck out like you would not believe. And dude, I lusted after these skates for years. And finally, one year on Christmas, went over to Bush, or Christmas Eve actually, went over, and my mom and Bush had just gone to Chicago, and then they had the Nike store there right before Christmas. And that Christmas Eve opened up a box that contained the white Sergei Fedorov Nike skates.
Greg says, "Get them all white Nike skates. I loved them."
Nice.
So,
Dude,
in your memory, was that the greatest gift you ever received when you were a kid?
As a matter of fact, probably to this day, yes, probably one of the.
That's the bar that would have to be surpassed.
Well, I'm glad we have gotten you all kinds of nice things the past couple of years.
Yeah, but it's good to know. I there's nothing we're gonna get him that's gonna surpass that.
Exactly.
That's
They had
true.
a head start.
Yeah, dude, these things were absolutely phenomenal.
And it's not like every gift he's gotten since then has been like, well.
Oh no, of course
it's
not.
Fine.
No.
It's fine, I guess. It's not Fedorov white skates, but it's passable.
And as a matter of fact,
I guess.
it was such a big deal. Even now, to this day, Reebok actually still makes white skates that you can get. And I was at Perani's one day, and I was looking at hockey equipment.
Yeah.
And if they weren't $660,
Are you still stable on the ice?
it's been a little bit. I would definitely need.
Well, because you're top heavy. You're a little bit more top heavy now than when you were.
But he's so squat.
Jesus Christ.
You can't be squat and top heavy, can you? Clarifying question.
He's about 3 apples high.
Apple boxes?
No, 3 apples.
Okay.
He's a
Sorry, that took a turn, Corey.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it
away
did.
from
Of
your
course.
original. That's very cool. I was a hockey fan at the time, but I was not aware. I wasn't that deep into it.
Well, you had just turned 40 at that time. So.
Yeah, doesn't feel so good, does it, Bob?
I'm ready to close this down right
Very
now.
nice. Very nice.
No, that's awesome.
And as a matter of fact, I do believe they're still in my mom's attic.
Now, would you also time travel back and tell yourself never to unbox them?
Fuck no. Nope. Those were getting worn.
Speaking of which, I was at work, and this the kid on afternoon. He's got to be like 27.
Speaking of time travel,
Yeah,
I was at work.
When I was time traveling the other day.
He's a shift lead on afternoons, and he has never seen anything to do with the podcast. We were talking about redoing basements and things like that. So I'm like, you can probably kind of see my basement a little bit, like on our show. And so I showed him, and he goes, "Is that your dad?" And I go, "No,
Motherfucker.
no."
What's this guy's name?
Don't worry about it.
All right, I'm going to get his name so I can catch him in the chat. And
He ain't gonna be in the chat,
I could
for sure.
Your
probably
dad's a handsome man.
Ignore everything he says.
I'm like, no. I actually laughed, like in almost like, no, of course he's not. And then I'm like, well, but he doesn't know, you know.
That's got to sting.
It's a guy I don't know, so
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it doesn't matter. He ain't gonna. He's
but
not
it was
gonna watch.
relayed to me by someone who I considered to be a friend up until today. So
I defended your age and honor, sir.
and then told me an embarrassing story on the podcast about it. I see. Thanks for always putting me first, buddy.
You got it, buddy.
Yeah.
All right, sir.
You old bastard.
Motherfuckers. That is the podcast for this week.
Night,
On
Pop.
behalf of Cory, Nick, and Todd, this is Bob saying we'll see you next weekend.